hero.
Have you any hobbies?
My hobbies are fast cars and fast women.
Hobbies are healthy. They teach you things.
Well, looky who we got here. It's them podcast boys with the UFL podcast around the UFL, a little thing you might have heard called Pro Football Newsroom, and a thing, SpringStock 3. It's bright and early. It's 9 a.m. Central. I thought we were going to be late, but here we are, right on time. Whoo-wee. As usual, I'm joined, as always, by my man, Zach Kylman, and holy smokes, we did it. We did it, and I'm going to say this not so loud, but they said we couldn't tailgate here. But here we are. Sign us up. La L, come and join us. We're going to be here until 11 a.m. Central. And then we're heading to the big game. Zach, how you feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling great. And look, you started it this morning kind of, some things, again, it's how SpringStock always is. We always work it out at the end. And honestly, even though at the beginning of the morning being kind of hectic, I'd say best prep we've ever had for this one.
I'll be honest. So, there's no curtains at the podcast. I woke up at, my first alarm went off at 6:30, and I said, I can go a little bit longer. Next one came up at 6:45. I said, you know what? Let me go charge the Refla.
Yep.
Let's go get some juice. I'm going to go grab some breakfast. And after I charged the Tesla, I said, let me just go scope out Lot L. See if it's open, because I'll be honest, we weren't even sure the lot was going to be open.
Well, yeah, exactly.
By the time we started. So I come on and boom, there's cars coming in the lot. The other lot was like a quarter full. I rushed to the hotel. I'm like, Zach, we got to go. I grab all my stuff. He sticks around, gets ready, takes an Uber here. By the time he gets here, I'm like, yeah, bro, I think this is all like staff cars. So we rushed for nothing. But still, even with that, we just got set up literally seconds before we went live in typical SpringStock fashion. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I see James here. I actually got to send him the link so he can get into this. So I'm going to log in, James boy. But yeah, we got some good fun guests today.
Yeah, we do.
So we got James Larson, insider. He's all over the place. He's writing articles like a madman. I can't believe his hands aren't falling off. But to me, today is the day that worlds collide. Worlds Collide. Newsroom talks to News Hub. Now, I've met Mark Perry in person. I think a lot of people think that we hate each other. I think I'll be honest. I think it's kind of funny that people think that we hate each other. I don't hate anyone. I do like when people hate me. I know there's people that hate me, and I think some of those people that hate me are doing shows right now. So whatever, sign them up. But this is the only show this weekend that I know of that's a trilogy, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. One thing I do want to call out: we're in Arlington, Texas, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Do we have any Arlington Renegades fans in the crowd?
Not yet.
No. We got the Stallions fans here ready to go. Giddy up. I mean, we'll probably get to predictions a little bit later on. Well, did you say 12-0? Oh, yeah, I know. The Roughnecks are going to go 12-0. I'm glad you recognize that the Houston Roughnecks are going to win the USFL division this year. I know the season, it's technically not started, but the kickoff is today. We're going to see the Houston Roughnecks rough up the Showboats tomorrow. But today, I think we reserve predictions for the Arlington game a little bit later. But I think let's kick you got the Panthers stuff on. We also have another game. We got the Panthers and the Battlehawks today.
Big one to start off.
Well, it's interesting, too, because Arlington Lane, who was he was actually set to be here at the show today.
Well, I think there might have been some chords crossed, because I thought that was the understanding.
Yeah.
But look, guys at Fuel Network, they're good guys, and they got a lot of busy obligations too. But he's up in Michigan right now. There's actually a few of the Battlehawks contingent that have made the drive over to Detroit, and it's going to be a fun game, I think, for even an away fan. Because look, St. Louis fans, it's not that far. You're going to get a good contingent that travel. In Michigan, it can get pretty loud. But yeah, we are, at least the idea is we are expecting at least a member or two from the Fuel Network with us. And if not, hey, they got to go and cover, sign them up. It's all it is.
So Roy Collins here dropped a comment. Any news on ticket sales for this game? Now, I'll be honest. We were looking at Ticketmaster last night, which is not an indicator by any means.
Do not use, if you like Ticketmaster for like ticket buying and all that. That is completely inaccurate. There are tons of things that guys with the accounts can do to manipulate the list. But when we looked at it, doesn't look too bad.
It does. I mean, it doesn't look too bad at all. And again, I don't know which all tickets were available, so I assume like some of the upper seats weren't. But when we look at those riser sets, they're pretty much sold out. When you look at the home side, it's pretty good. I mean, it's looking pretty good.
It's not too shabby.
Now again, what will it look like when we actually get there? Hey, we only got, the good news is, Zachy boy, we only got a couple hours left until we get yet another spring league, and potentially, and according to them, the premier spring league. Now, we've teed it up going into this. It's hard to deny that it's the premier spring league when you look at the amount of talent that was cut going into the consolidation.
Exactly.
Right? Like, this truly is going to be the best of the best. I do know with the Roughnecks tomorrow, they do have kind of an uphill battle, right? Chris Odom's out, Mark Thompson's out. But the good news is, with the Roughnecks, dude, they got a whole rest of the team that's like, that is the all UFL team right there.
But I am going to stand on the Memphis Showboats, because look, man, that you talk about a roster that has so many familiar faces, and that's what a lot of people ride on right now. Case Cook is on the depth chart, looking like he is going to be starting. And honestly, for the draft number, he was number 1 in the picks. Kind of felt like it was going to be that way, although Troy Williams, not a bad backup. But look, you got guys like him. He's throwing to Vinny Papali. He's got running backs with Trey Williams and Darius Victor on his side that are going to be on that field. And that defense ain't too shabby in Memphis either for what John DeFilippo and Carnell Lake have put together. So going to be a fun one in Houston at Rice Stadium to be the afternoon cap of what should be very fascinating first week of the UFL. How good are these teams right out of the bat? How much have they not gelled? Especially the teams that ripped apart their original rosters and are basically restarting. Remember, John DeFilippo, one of the guys that really the most turnover of any roster from last year for any of these leagues, and he's got a brand new set of guys that he's going to put a lot of faith in.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. The one thing that Flip's got going for him, he was on around the UFL.
That too.
I mean, you know what? If there's anything that's going to make me root for a guy is if he's a guest on our show. This is why we need to get Mark Thompson on there. I'm telling you, Mark Thompson.
Yes.
A little, so we have the Stallions game coming up. One thing I do want to talk about, because I mentioned Mark Thompson. And
you got to mention the other guy in this conversation too.
Well, I'm doing a typical ref move here.
Yeah.
So check this out.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Mark Thompson. You know what that gets me thinking about? It actually gets me thinking about the Stallions. And you might say, why is that? Well, when you look at the depth charts, Jamar Smith is the third string quarterback.
That's
right?
kind of wild, ain't it?
And I don't know. I mean, I'm curious. Stallions fans out here, what are you thinking about Jamar being third string?
Not a fan. Yellow to it.
Not a fan. See, that's what it seems all around. Now, let me ask you this. If Corral takes you 12-0, fan?
I love it.
Yeah, see, sign him up, right? And I think that's really what it's going to take here. Now, I mentioned this on Around the UFL, I think last week when we were going around the cuts. There's a certain amount of coaches that I just trust in this league to be making the right choices.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, C.J. Johnson, Roughnecks, rough him up, 12-0. Right, real close, right next to him is that man, Skip Holtz. It also helps that his wife watches our show. Sign you up. But anyway, we need to get Holtz on this show as well. We had him on the USFL podcast back in the day. But I mean, I think I saw a tweet. Maybe it was you that showed me. Jamar's mother? Jamar's mother put out a tweet last night saying it's going to be an S show. And we're not going to do any of the bad words today. Hey, real quick, actually, I always forget to do this. Everybody that's watching online, you want to do me a favor. This is the favor that you can do me. We're hooking you up with a free show. You can hook me up with a free like.
There you go.
Hook me up with a free subscribe. Click that bell. It builds morale. It lets you know when we're going live, just like SpringStock 3. And let me tell you something. We're actually gonna do some online giveaways today as well. We have, Zach, you're wearing it, so you can, rather than pull up the list, we're gonna be giving away a couple of these SpringStock 3 shirts. We need to figure out what's a good way. What's a good way to get these guys engaged? Should we give them like a trivia question? Maybe here's what we do, Zach. Let's ask people.
I got a good one.
Yeah.
We're going to tie in. So, I think we count the XFL from 2020 onward and the UFL as one, USFL's history combined, right?
Okay.
All right. First question to get a shirt. Who was the first person to throw a touchdown in the XFL?
Okay.
First season, 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. So mark that down. First person to throw a touchdown in XFL 2020. Now I got another one. This is future forward. So the winner of this one isn't going to be announced probably until around the UFL on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Throw your score predictions in.
There you go.
For which game? Any game? No, you know what? We're going to pick one game. I need to be able to track
stick with the kickoff game. All four.
Oh, well, you know what? Actually, okay, we're going to do two things.
Aggregate scoring?
Check this out. I got ref brain here. Oh, hey, I'm already awake, phone. Get out of here. So here's what we're going to do. So the first question is, who's the first person to throw a touchdown in XFL 2020? Second one is score predictions for the Arlington Renegades and the Stallions. And then the third is going to be the grand prize, because we actually have not this shirt.
We got some button-ups.
We got some button-ups with some
varsity.
Old school vintage varsity. Sponsor the show, by the way. Sign them up. So here's the grand prize. You're going to get SpringStock shirt, SpringStock 3 shirt. We have an Arlington colored one. We have a Houston colored one. The Houston one's the best one. But anyway, and then we have a button-up shirt. And we might be able to get a tumbler in there. I don't know.
I think we can get the tumbler.
I don't know. It depends if
it's team-specific tumbler, but
it's a showboat tumbler. So here's the deal. So to get all of those, to get the grand prize, throw your score predictions for all 4 games. Whoever gets the closest on all 4 games, you're getting the grand prize. And you know what? We might throw some extra stuff in there because we got some some retro USFL podcast trading cards. And actually, I might have some other merch that we can throw in there. Just some other.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I'll throw in there from last night. I got you a rally towel from the Frisco Fighters.
There we go.
That you will be getting for the grand prize. That was happening last night. And by the way, we'll talk about that game as our experience down here a little bit later. But yes.
I spy a friendly face over here, Mr. State of the Stallions, Luke Miller, walking on up. How you doing today, my friend? We missed you at the Frisco Fighters game, but the good news is they still pulled it out, buddy. They still pulled it out. I wasn't sure if they were going to do it without you there. Now, what I want to see later, so just to paint the picture, Luke is walking around with a banana peel, and I'm waiting for you to toss it out, and like an hour from now, somebody's walking. We're just going to see him slip cartoon style.
I just walked past Sal Canella. I could have thrown
Yeah. So for anyone that couldn't hear it on a mic, he just walked by Sal Cannella, and he could have threw it out there. But this is State of the Stallions. They are better than that. They're better people than that. I mean, they win by any means necessary, but they generally do it on good terms. Now the Roughnecks, that's a whole different story. We're gonna rough them up, beat them up, take them down. 12-0, all in. Oh my God! What is going on here? Do Arlington Renegades fans exist? That's what I want to know here, guys.
So I will show this if we can. I'll have to if I do get a chance. But yeah, it's all Birmingham right now. Which I mean, not to be honest with you. Let's be frank. This show started thanks to the fans over there in Birmingham, Alabama, and without it, I mean, we wouldn't have this.
So quick question from our friend Steven Sullivan. So they're saying they won't let them into Lot L, but we are surely in Lot L. So I mean that might be a predicament.
If your car's not,
you might have to walk in.
You
might have to walk in. So good. Thank you for pointing that out, Steven Sullivan, because I would not have known that.
I'm actually surprised if they're doing it now that we were allowed in the first place.
Again, for a place that said we couldn't tailgate, I'm amazed that. Again, no curtains. We needed a knife, and one of the staff workers not only lent us his knife, he gave us an extra blade.
This banner isn't sitting up here if we don't get that.
Yeah, I mean,
blade.
for a place that said we couldn't tailgate, maybe what we can do too, real quick, Zach. I know me, I'm all over the place. Maybe for the grand prize, maybe we give away one of these extra. We sign and give away one of these mic flags.
We do have one extra for today.
Yeah, so maybe we do that.
That's not bad. Could add it in. By the way, and go and pick Chad's message out here, because this is what I want to see if you guys are submitting submissions. That if you can send it all like this, that's ideal. That helps us out.
Yes.
We don't have to hunt down individual messages, and trust me, we will prioritize stuff like that for the grand prize because it'll make it easier for us to see if you got close.
Well, hold on now, Chad. Memphis 29, Houston 9.
I like that score.
29. Hold on.
That's a fantastic
I do want to run through his because
that man knows ball.
Oh man, I killed the spiders. Oh well. Anyway, so I do want to talk about his scores here real quick though, because I mean that first game, if we get that score out of a game, I mean we're looking forward to one hell of a game. He's got a 22-21 Birmingham winning prediction.
I'll tell you what it is. The 9 points comes from a desperation touchdown followed by a 3-point conversion. It'll be the only one of the weekend. I'm gonna book it right there if he does happen that way.
Dude, no, that's going to be the first play of the game, and then
they get blown out.
That's what I see. This is the first quarter, and what we're gonna do is
the first quarter of everything.
No, for Memphis, and we're just gonna let Memphis.
Where's the distinction? You're gonna just assume he's doing this.
All right, guys. Do you want me to end the stream, Zach?
Oh wow!
I'm just kidding.
just wanted to pull out the knife on me.
Yeah, give me that blade. Where'd it go? Where'd it go, guys? But yeah, I mean, holy smokes! I can't believe we're here. So I mean, let's just talk a little bit like history here, because I've teed this up, but it really does feel like we're coming full circle on a lot of things, right? With Newsroom, not especially or particularly, but with Newsroom, I mean, we started with the XFL. My first press credentials were for the Spring League when they were testing the innovations for the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
The XFL goes into 2020. The illness we shall not name happens. The league ends up going under. It gets purchased. And in the meantime, the Spring League ends up on Fox. They have a season. They go in and essentially become the USFL, for a lack of better words.
Yep.
The USFL and the XFL compete last year, and now we're joining forces into the UFL, to where, I mean, SpringStock has now spanned 3 different football leagues, whether it's the XFL, the USFL, and now the UFL. I mean, we didn't get in time for the Spring League. But I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun too, because I mean, last year was an interesting year because there were, I mean, for the most part, I'd say people were spring football fans. If you were an XFL fan, you were a USFL fan. If you were a USFL fan, you were an XFL fan. But when it comes to there's a select few, I think, that were very adamantly against the other one. And here we are, a year later, and we're joining forces. It seems like there's a little bit less of the animosity, but there's still a little bit out there, which I don't mind per se, because as I've talked about before, I actually appreciate a new element to the rivalry, right? Rather than East and West and North and South, you have USFL teams, XFL teams, USFL players, XFL players that played on both. And I don't know, man. Like when we look at it, I think there's this perception, and I mean the crowd here might disagree with me, but I think there's this perception that the XFL conference is going to run away with this, and I don't know how sure I am of it. I'm not so sure about
you got
that.
him, Spark. Again, we're right now. It's an all Stallions contingent here. I am just saying that's again shows how great these guys travel. And you know what? I would say some of the more casual of viewership have definitely leaned into more of the XFL dominance on this. And that's going to get tested today, right out of the bat. You're going to see that right away. They, especially with this first game, that's the biggest reason. And they mentioned this, why they scheduled it. The first game of the thing to kick things off is champ versus champ, is they said they wanted a little bit of that rivalry edge put into it about the conferences. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get that right away. I mean, both of these teams are prideful. Both of them have guys from last year that they feel like they definitely had the better team and definitely were the better product. And that's not just me saying that. There are players in both these leagues that feel like each side had the better product. Yeah. So you are getting a bit of that juice to this discussion and this rivalry animosity, if you will, that's going to be kicked off at least the first half of the season, I would say minimum or maximum,
So real quick, I know I'm going to deviate, but you know me, Zach. I want to pull up this comment because I do want to talk about this, especially because worlds are colliding today. Me hubbed. I don't know. Zach, I don't know if you could me hubbed.
Does the podcast have a rivalry with other podcasts?
So I'll say no. I don't. I mean, I love everybody. Well, first we got our band from State of the Stallions over here. Sign them up. Friends of the show.
Friend of the show.
We have Rando from the UFM, United Football Media. Friend of the show, or Buck. Sorry,
I go by
the. Yeah, you know me. I latch on to usernames online, and anyway, we got Buck from UFM. We got Scout, which you're with UFM, right? Yeah, you're with and Southern Charm Sports, right? Yeah, I thought so. We were talking about that last night. We got Mark Perry.
Coming up later today.
From UFL Newshub, which I'm telling you, I don't think anybody ever. I don't think I ever expected that to happen.
No, that was a shock. We had to double check that was actually a thing that was asked. By the way,
I will say that was a stand up move for him to reach out to us because it's funny. The timing was actually interesting. I was talking to James the other day, who's going to be on the show a little bit later, about do you think Mark Perry's going to be out there? And he said, I'm not sure. I said, I was thinking about asking him about being on the show. And I think it was the same day or maybe the day after Mark put out that tweet. And then we got into the DMs. And I was like, dude, the timing of your tweet is actually crazy. Because I was just talking about it. So he's not actually in town, but he is going to be joining us virtually.
Yes.
At the top of the hour. So in about 30 minutes, Worlds Collide, Newsroom and Newshub are coming together. We also have our friend Luke Miller from State of the Stallions, and then we have James Larson will be joining us.
Larson will be on. Hopefully, like I said, we're hoping. Last I checked, we were hoping to have someone from Fuel Network here. Not guaranteed, but if that's the case, we have another guest possibly lined up.
Yeah, we got all sorts of people. And actually, so we're at the bottom of the hour, so maybe shortly we have Luke come up. I know he's. We'll let him do his thing, but whenever he's
ready to go, he gave the peace sign. That means he's about ready.
Yeah,
We'll give him a moment here, but yeah.
I mean, we might as well get this thing started.
Screw it, get it all. Go over here. Come on.
Yeah.
I see that. I see that back-to-back patch. That's right. You got this all set up.
And look, man, I didn't even. Whoa! Well,
it's getting wild over here.
That could have been the best. That might be the best SpringStock moment, but could have been the best. Yeah, clip that one. I was like, "Are we? Oh yeah, we're tipping. Okay. Oh boy. All right." Well, what I was gonna say, I didn't know. I didn't think about lining up the shot for three people, but it actually
works well
for us having at the last moment getting on this. Oh yeah, let me unmute you. That might help.
Well,
I was wondering. I was like, why is he so low?
This is Renegade's interference.
That's right.
And Roughneck's interference.
Yeah, 12-0, buddy. 12-0. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the game today? How's it looking?
I feel good. I mean, I think obviously it's hard to know exactly what to expect given the merger. So I think any prediction or, estimation of what's going to happen is quite tentative. But that being said, I think the Stallions, the offseason that they had, the pieces that they were able to retain, not only in terms of players, but also in terms of coaches, front office staff, all that kind of stuff. I've learned over the last 2 years to quiet my sort of inner fearful fan because the Stallions haven't let me down yet. So I'm rolling with the Stallions.
I mean, they showed last year that clearly adjustments can be made in season. They have 2022. They showed right out of the gate they can get evaluated very well. We always praise Zach Potter on here, and you obviously talk the same way. Give him just as much praise. Here I don't want to go straight. I don't mean to go straight for this conversation, but it has been dominating some of the discussion around this game today. I think a lot of the contingent, many others, Matt Corral felt like he was going to be. It was looking like it was leading towards that. The third-round pick status, SEC QB, missed potential, but a lot of variability in his game. The QB2 discussion. Didn't expect Adrian Martinez to land the 2. I thought they'd go with the veteran Jamar. That shocked me.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you there. I wasn't necessarily horribly surprised that Corral was named the starter. I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know if Corral had enough time in camp to really sort of solidify himself as QB1, but obviously he did. But I don't think I would have ever guessed that Jamar would fall to QB3. I really thought, okay, they're going to dress Jamar on game day as sort of a veteran experience that has been there before. He kind of knows what to expect. He's been in the system. And then I would have guessed that Corral would have been the other quarterback dressing out. And I thought Martinez would sort of be in QB3 at least to begin the season.
Right.
And, apparently Martinez and Corral, obviously, too, both had such good camps that Skip really had no choice but to dress both of them and give them both their first really both of them is really in some way their first pro football experience because Corral broke his foot, that first year out of the NFL. And then last year things didn't work out for him. And then Martinez had some preseason experience with the Lions. But two very talented quarterbacks, but very inexperienced, which is obviously the opposite of Jamar, who would have been going into his third year as a potential starter. So it's definitely something to watch for sure.
Yeah, so we've seen Jamar will be very aware, as he knows, stay on standby. You never know what's available, clearly. And it's not, even if he is inactive, not bad to have a veteran voice in the room like him that has been through this scene for 3 years and can be another presence to Skip's whole personnel. I mean, clearly he's been able to talk and he knows the system well enough to where you have another voice of reason in the room. For yourself, I'm going to get right with this. Renegades, a lot of talk, Luis Perez, obviously being the veteran QB, led this team to a massive rally to even get an XFL championship last year, and got some new weapons behind him too. Defense has talked a lot of game as well online, and some fans from the Renegades fan base have said the same. Your thoughts on the game ahead with this?
Well, I think the Renegades are obviously a good team. There's no denying that. I mean, people like to talk about their 4-6 record, which obviously is not terribly impressive. However, if you watch the XFL at all, which I didn't watch it terribly closely last year, but I watched it enough to know that you can't really talk about their record as if that's a fair representation of who this team is heading into the season. The team that was the Renegades the first, let's say, 5 weeks of the season, the first half of the season last year versus the end of the season is a completely different team. And obviously the biggest piece of that is Luis Perez. And not an unfamiliar name for Birmingham Stallions fans. He was the Birmingham Iron starting quarterback in 2019. He's sort of been around this scene ever since. And in every league he's been in, he's been successful. Obviously, he won the championship this past year in the XFL. When he was at the USFL in 2022, a lot of people thought the Generals were going to maybe potentially be the team to win that championship.
It was almost a fluke loss. It was amazing because he was on such a tear. And that game, it's just like, you got the yips. The whole team got the yips.
And, the Iron were good. In the XFL in 2020, if you remember, I think he started with the Wildcats and then got traded to the Guardians. And then eventually became their starter. Became their starter and kind of helped start to turn the corner for them a little bit, I felt like, because they didn't have a great start to the year. So everywhere he has been either leading a great team or helping a bad team become a great team. And so to me, Luis Perez is kind of like the Tom Brady of spring football. Like, he's calm, he's cool, he's collected. When you see him play, it's not like Alex Magoo where you're just like in awe, like he's not like,
or like we will be with Guarantano.
I mean, you hope so.
I guess it depends what awe means. So I can be like, oh my God, what's happening?
we'll go with that. That's a little more along the lines I was thinking, but yeah. So, I mean, I think Perez obviously is just, it's hard to bet against him. And, their defense is very good. There's no doubt about that. They've got Vic Beasley at defensive end, who was an 8th pick in the draft a few years back. So that tells you about the talent there. You've got Donald Payne, who, again, has been one of the best linebackers in spring football for multiple years now. So, I mean, and then obviously Bob Stoops is an incredible defensive coach. So you throw that on there too. So all that to say, I mean, out of all the teams in the league, I don't necessarily the Renegades. When I look at their roster or just think about the team, how they're composed, it's not necessarily the team that scares me the most, but they're also not a team I necessarily would want to play. I'm glad we're playing them week 1 as opposed to later in the season, because I think especially once they kind of find their groove like they did last year, they could be a sneaky, dangerous team when it comes down to the wire. But they're definitely not a team to sleep on, for sure.
Here's what you need to worry about. This is the one thing you need to worry about, and it's going to be hard unless they play it on the screens or we're watching on our phones. Dude, if they play a Luis Perez bowling promo, I hate to say it, you might be doomed today. You might be doomed.
That's fair. I actually saw, so probably about a week or two ago, some Stallions players went out, I guess, for, a team bonding event and were bowling.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out, I was looking really closely through all the clips, is Luis, because there were some players from other teams too. It was kind of a bunch of guys went out bowling. So I was really trying to look and see, is Luis Perez there just dominating the competition? But I never saw him. I think they probably didn't invite him because they didn't want to get smoked.
Oh, no.
Having bowl a 300 game when they were, bowling, one guy bowled a 74 or something like that. So
That would be me.
Yeah, same.
Dude's just casually going to throw it on you. You sure you want to? We'll give you the prize. We'll just have whoever gets second will be paying for dinner.
So real quick, I just want to call it because Arlington Lane, our friend from Fuel Network, he asked if any newsroom staffers are in Detroit. Yep, we got to have James Larson, and Jake is going to be out there from the Panther Shadow.
Yeah,
Panther
which is funny because we said Larson's going to be on the show, and Larry, he'll be on the show. He's going to be coming in virtually this year. Is the difference.
Yep. And then another comment, somebody was saying when the table flipped, I just want to cut everyone off. Somebody was saying we need to set it on fire and let me jump through it. Now I will say,
wait a minute.
I mean, maybe one day, but I don't, so Dirty from Fuel Network, I don't want to steal his bit. I mean, I saw that in the XFL 2020 in St. Louis. I don't want to do it. That's one. And I mean, I know he's around here somewhere in Arlington. Get a hold of Dirty. Tell him to stop by Lot L. Come and join us. Join the party.
And
Grab a shirt.
And he'll probably have to walk, by the way.
Yeah, you probably have to walk.
We can set the table on fire for him.
Hey, we got people. Hey, I see a Roughnecks flag over there.
Hey.
12-0, baby. 12-0. Roughnecks. Rough them up.
The contingent is coming.
And a
All in.
Brahmas fan, too.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what? They allow Brahmas fans? Oh, my
What
God.
in the world? We got them coming in. They're behind us, though.
Sign us up.
That's wild.
Hey, is that another Tesla? Oh, my God. I'm in heaven, guys.
This is Tesla capital for
the
sure.
battle
Yeah.
to keep this table from falling. It's one
I
that
know.
I am having.
Yeah, I'm scooted all the way forward on the seat.
Fuck. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Oh,
my
boy.
goodness. Dirty's in Detroit. Wait a minute.
Wait.
a minute.
What's going on here?
Okay.
Everybody's in
Full
Detroit.
disclosure, we had a talk, and I was understanding we were supposed to have one of him in here, but again, busy. We're all network guys, or in terms of spreading out, having cover. I'm not knocking. If plans change.
Yeah.
But I have a phone call. I know.
Yeah.
I know we talked about being here.
Hey, I mean, this is why I love the internet, and that's why I love going live. We brought the Legion to us, and I wonder if that's who these guys are over here. I think it's them.
There it is.
Sign them up. Well, good. I'm glad you sent a Roughnecks fan because I was feeling pretty lonely over here.
Maybe.
12-0. Rough them up. All in, baby. Let's go.
The contingent's coming.
Yes.
The Stallions fans that started it. Now
We have
we've got
free
a bunch
shirts
more.
as well if you want one. Sign you up.
What I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna start an open. I can get access to our streaming event via my phone. We'll see if we can get some fan cam going here.
Oh yeah, sign us up.
In the meantime, though, and I'll get this with you, Luke.
Yes.
Here's the deal. Since Stallions folks are here already, and by the way, please take a T-shirt if you please. And for those that come up, we have T-shirt merch. If you are
grab
here,
a shirt.
grab one for
free
SpringStock.
shirts.
And
I always say if it's free, it's me. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was about to say take as many as you need, but then I had flashbacks to last year when somebody walked off with like
we got
10 of them. I'm like, no, not that many.
We got a Stars jersey.
We got a Stars
Hey, there
fan.
we go.
That's wild.
We
That
got
is
the whole
awesome.
crowd here. All right.
This is freaking
So
sweet.
now that we got a new set of people, how
R.I.P.
you guys feeling about the game today?
Oh, we're excited. We're ready. Let's go, UFL!
Yeah.
Now another question. So we got the game today. I'm assuming you guys are going to be at the Roughnecks game tomorrow. You're going to be.
Oh,
Let's go. We got a good group of people that are true diehard UFL fans. They're going back to back, just like Zachy Boy. This is a 2-day event. We're doing SpringStock 3 in Houston tomorrow. I think it's West Lot 5. West Lot 5. I'll have to verify that. We'll put it on social media. It's whatever the tailgate lot is in Houston. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be getting live.
That's okay.
Wait, is there a beer? Did somebody say something about a beer? Does somebody have a beer that I can have? I forgot my beer at the hotel. And a Modelo. Oh, you are.
Full
Los
disclosure, this is
Banditos,
BYOB.
sign
We
you
did not
up.
bring this.
This is
don't
the
sue us. Please
UFL
don't sue us.
community right here. Sign me up. I swear, did you say beer or did I hear that?
I saw the cooler.
Okay, I was like, did somebody say beer? Because I need a beer. Thank you, my friend. Day drinking, baby.
Drink
Sign us
early
up.
and often.
Drink responsibly.
There you go. Thank you.
Or just drink. No, drink responsibly. I forgot. Never mind. We're live. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, is it only 9:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
The
Yeah.
setup, man. It's a setup. Now we get to relax.
I don't know why I thought it was like, even though I know that we end at 11, I'm thinking it's like 11. I've been flying this morning, but hey, whatever. Sign us up.
Yeah, that's freaking sweet. Well,
Whoop.
man,
Our sign is.
Sign us up.
We're-
Yeah, thank you guys. So it's windy in Arlington. I was actually telling Zach that on the way here. I said, you watch. It's always windier
Tell you
in
what,
Arlington.
Can we get a pause? Let's see if we can try and fix this a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
you know what? Let's do a quick intermission here.
I don't want to give.
South Oklahoma. What are you
Yeah,
Oh man.
give us one. Let's just do. I'm just gonna put this up and mute up.
Here we are. It's the beginning of another great day. A sunny summer day. It's the best day for you know what. I'm going to read you a quote from Norm Macdonald. And he says this: the idiot sees the world as good versus evil. The cynic sees the world as evil versus evil. The truth that no one seems to be able to see is that the world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Wow. This is actually really profound. This is the situation we find ourselves in. There are not two sides in which one is good and one is evil. There are two sides in which one feels that it is good and it believes, incorrectly, that the other one is evil. But both sides are pretty sure that their version of the world is the good one. Wow. The world is, and always has been, a battle of good versus good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Good. Versus good. Wow. Wow.
I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Wednesday, happy days. It's just one of those happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go home. It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify. Ripping someone's head off, no human contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is
Knock it off, you scumbucket.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of those happy days. It's just one of those happy days. It's just one of those happy days. The weekend comes, let's go home. Ready to make stand. It's just one of those days. Feeling like a freight train. First one to complain. Please with the blood stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better shoot, cause I'm fucking up your program. And you go stuck up. You just locked up. That's the line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about happy days. It's just one of those happy days. It's just one of those happy days. The weekend comes, let's go home. Ready to make stand. These days,
I feel like shit. My suggestion is distance.
right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
My day keeps going this way and this way. I'm gonna pop you one so you'll start playing games. Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I'm like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get me.
Today's a new day, it's happening in Detroit. You're feeling okay, we're with you, Detroit. No holding back now, on the right track now. Stand up and tell them you're from Detroit. We build it better, right here in Detroit. Working together, we're making it in Detroit. It's time to shout it, no doubt about it. Stand up and tell them you're from Detroit. You got the spirit, tell them you're
From Detroit. Come on, baby.
let's hear it.
Tell them you're from Detroit. Yeah.
We're a team that's hometown, there's no town
Like Motown. Yeah.
part of it. Seven's a part of it.
I don't know the
Stand
words.
up and tell them you're from Detroit.
Woo! Sign you up, everybody. We're back. We had to get the tent a little bit situated, but we got a little. You want? Should I pull up the fan
Let's
cam?
do this. Are you ready? We have a fan cam this time. Let's show them.
Hold on. Let me mute you real quick. Hold on. Let me put you.
Now
There we
let's do
go.
Take a look at the contingent. Look at this. Show it off. Say hi, everyone.
Sign everybody
Say
up.
up. Shout it out. Come on.
See, at first
How you
it was just Stallions fans. Now we have some fans that know what they're talking about here. 12-0, rough them up. But I gotta know, is there a Renegades fan here yet?
We did. I mean, the one that gave you the beer.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Sign them up. Yeah, I forgot. I'll keep. Never mind. I take it all back. I take it all back. Rough them up. 12-0. That's what I like.
How you doing?
Hey, sign you up.
Oh, great. We got more people. Ooh, photography. Smile. Oh,
Live shot. Sign us up. Let's go.
Get my nice side.
12-0. That's what I'm talking about.
Look at that.
So coming up
Look at
shortly.
this. I mean, like I said, we got Brahmas, Birmingham Stallions, Roughnecks representing here. We've had the Renegades who gave you this nice Modelo.
Yes.
We got Stars fans, people from Ohio who drove out here to go to this game. And
What 16 hours?
15-hour drive.
Actually,
15-hour
come up
drive.
here. Come up here. Let's get this. You know what?
No.
Because I'm all about the community, and I mean,
That's a hell of a ride.
the fact that you, thank you for anchoring us down here.
Buck's doing a great job here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shout out, Buck.
let me just pull us up full
We'll come back to
here,
the fan cam a little later. Thank you so
dude.
much.
So first, I mean, sign you up. How was the drive?
It was good. Yeah. Missouri was a little long. It was a little long
closer.
getting through there. But then,
Missouri.
yeah.
A little up to the face there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, Missouri. It was a little long drive, and then Oklahoma. We stayed there. It was a good night, and now we're here. Let's go Stallions!
There we go. There we go.
Popular choice around here, it looks like.
I'll be honest. I never heard anybody say. Oh, I hope. Well, I'll say. I've never heard anybody say they've had a good stay in Oklahoma. But so I guess there's a first for everything. Sign you up.
Yep.
I live in Texas, and I don't know if many people know, but Texas, we got a little bit of a rivalry with Oklahoma.
Just a
But I mean, of course we do. We're better than everyone. But Roughnecks, 12-0. But I will say the Stallions today. Well, I don't know. I'll say it. I think they're going to pull it out. I know we're going to do
I think so,
predictions
too.
on
You're
score,
already predicting.
but
All right.
I think they're going to pull it out. Maybe I'll change my mind by the end of it. But I mean, just from the fans alone here, we have a good amount of Stallions fans, so it's not like it's going to be purely an away game. We'll have to see what the score looks like, what the crowd looks like. But
What other? So you talking Ohio here? Been in the championships in the past USFL? or other
No.
games?
It was so it was actually last year we went to all 4 hubs in the USFL,
Really?
which was pretty cool experience, and then we went to the playoffs the first year. So
nice.
yeah,
Very-
in Canton.
That's what I like
my
about.
God, we got
Hey,
more.
sign them up. See, this is what I love: dedication, and it's
That's
people
awesome.
like you that. And there we go. We got some more Renegades fans in the house here. But I'm telling you, it's people like you. I mean, you're a young kid. You got a long time before you get to my age. I'll tell you that. But I mean, it's people like you that are really going to help these leagues to survive, because I mean, we need everybody that we can to watch, support, and come to these games. And
Yeah, well, actually at school, I was telling everybody, I was like, UFL is this weekend. Make sure you watch my current event this week for Miss Reesner's class. Shout out Miss Reesner's class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was actually about the UFL starting up this weekend.
Well, Miss, what's her last name?
Miss Reesner.
Miss Reesner, you better give this kid an A+. Clip this, somebody. Send her the clip. I said it. The ref, A+. Sign him up.
I don't care what's going on.
Because I mean, this is
Extra
dedication.
credit, you name it. man.
Because I did all 4 hubs last year, and that was a gauntlet. And I run a podcast, and I mean, just as a fan doing it for the love of the game, I mean, I had to applaud you. And when I heard that you were out 16 hours drive, and we brought up, I was like, we got to get this kid on here, man. Like,
Yeah. Thanks
So-
to my mom, though, for taking us, the Philly Stars fan.
sign you up, yes. Everyone, a round of applause for
Shout out
Mama.
to football moms everywhere, baby.
Hell yeah. So we got, I just wanted to invite you up here.
All right.
Make sure you grab a shirt if you haven't.
I
Oh,
already
you
got
did.
one.
Yes,
Awesome.
please.
SpringStock
please.
3.
Yes,
There we go.
SpringStock 3.
SpringStock 3, baby.
And you know what? Maybe we'll see you at SpringStock 4, because we're not.
4, yep.
Yep. Or Summer Stock 3, which is St. Louis this year, guys. St. Louis.
All right. And actually, can I say one more
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
My predictions for the game,
Oh.
I had the Stallions winning 32-23.
Oh, here we go.
There you
And
go.
that's Isaac out.
Yes, sign him up. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for your dedication, brother.
No problem.
Sign you up. See,
Love it.
that's what I love to see right there. But shortly, I mean, about 9-ish minutes from now, Worlds Collide, folks. Worlds Collide Newsroom and News Hub. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm so happy that we're seeing the day. Out of transparency, Mark and I only spoke about setting up the interview. We did not speak at all what we're going to say. There's a couple things I want to ask him about, because I saw he's doing some type of fundraiser.
Yeah.
But I don't want to spoil it. I want him to speak on that. But since I brought up fundraiser and charity, our friend and sponsor of the show, Vintage Varsity, they're also doing their own fundraiser. Zach, I think you have some details on that, right? I hope so. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. Sorry. Yeah, that might help. Wait,
Yeah.
there you go.
What are you doing?
What is going on here? Okay, you should be good. Yeah, you're good. You're
I
good.
see what it is. Silencing the anti-Roughnecks propaganda. Already on it once again. Now, look, this is a pretty great cause here. So Bill Alexander, who's the guy who pretty much runs Vintage Varsity, he is our go-to guy for all the merch and things we've been doing the last 2 years with these events. Really great dude, and a huge Memphis Showboats guy, helps run up the yacht club out there. He's helping with a good cause. They got 3 Memphis Showboats helmets. They were signed by all three quarterbacks on roster. So Josh Love, Case Cookis, and Troy Williams, followed by Coach DiFilippo, and they're auctioning these helmets off for St. Jude. So we're going to give a little more details on our PFN website in the coming day or days. Once we can get that organized, we are going to have a write-up with details as much as possible. But really good cause, and you can get yourself a pretty kick-ass helmet.
A legit helmet, not just a legit helmet, but signed by the guys,
Yeah.
man, and the coach. Like, to me, that's super cool. It goes to a great cause, St. Jude. I mean, they're always doing great things. And, I mean, Bill Alexander is, I don't know him enough to call him a friend, but I'd say he's a good acquaintance. I mean, for the second year in a row, he's helped sponsor. First, he sponsored Summer Stock last year. Now he sponsored SpringStock this year. And beyond that, dude, he puts out some quality merchandise.
I mean, he does this right here. I have said every show I get the chance. He made this. This little piece that I use is one of my own signings, if you will, for my fandom and also for this show. It comes from him. He makes some really great stuff. The graphics he puts on it, it's good quality. You'll love it. And look at the fan cam again.
Yeah.
Back closer to Choctaw Stadium. Next to this Predator here.
Yep.
Check it out, guys. I found Los Banditos.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Lottie's having. See, I think we should have just went to Lottie. I think we made a mistake here, guys.
I don't know. I mean, look at that. We got fans behind us here. They're all over the place now.
I'm telling you, I have a feeling today's going to be a good day. Oh, man. Dude, we messed up. You guys. All right. How long are you guys going till? Because I might need to come by and grab some of that food over there.
Ooh, that flat
Oh, man. This is going to be so good, guys. And desserts. Are you kidding me?
Oh, my
God.
Sign. Okay.
Okay, hi, guys.
That's a potluck over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know where we're going after this, guys. We're going over to Lottie to get some grub.
It's a blast. Come have some. We'll see you. Let's go, UFL!
Stock 3, baby.
Thank you
Once
again.
We got more contingent coming here. It looks like we had folks from the Brahmas bullpen, I believe, with us.
Brahmas bullpen. Sign them up.
Hey, guys.
UFM represents. Sign you up all. Right? Yeah. That is you. Okay, good. I say it and I'm like, wait. Okay,
That's
good.
what I thought.
Yeah. I just had to make sure. I say things and then I second guess them after I say them, but I never. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, this is what I love, though. We are seeing like all the different communities out here.
It's a lot.
We have like I said, we have Newsroom, both here and in Detroit. We're going to be in Houston tomorrow. I think we're going to have some people in San Antonio as well. But we have UFM people out here today. I'm pretty sure we're going to have UFM people out there tomorrow. And actually, I think Ace is going to be in Houston. So, dude, you should stop by SpringStock 3. Come and join us. I'll have a beer for you, maybe a hot dog. Get signed up.
Say we're tailgating on Sunday. I'm looking forward to chilling out with that to go even further.
Yeah,
even more than what we're going to do after the show. So
right, and then so beyond that, we have the Fuel Network. We have the Legion. We have who else? I know there's other networks. Oh, who did we talk?
We got UFM.
I feel like there's another one out here, and I feel really bad that we got Mark Perry from Newshub joining us here shortly, very shortly here. So yeah, either way, what I love to see is the community just kind of coming full force to like support this league, because we need to. If we want to see spring football, we all need to support this league. And I get it. If you can't make it to the games, I don't expect everyone to drive 16 hours, fly across the country, do this and that. But we got 20 hours. Oh my God. Oh, sign you up. Hey, you know what?
Okay.
Get over here, actually, real quick. So we got a couple minutes before Mark Perry comes up.
You've been really helpful, by the way, with getting us organized on a few details, Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, sir.
So did you say you drove a Tesla here?
I absolutely did.
Dude,
That's
my man.
I was on the plane.
So you were the one that pulled up.
Sir.
I was like, oh, someone's coming up with a Tesla. Sign him up.
Gotcha.
Oh, man. Now you are. I knew I liked you. Now,
and guess what my name is? First name.
Stefan?
I mean,
well, Steven. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't even know why I knew your name. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So close. But
Stefan with the Tesla.
Yeah. Well, I always said, I'm like, when I explain my name, I kind of date myself now. It used to work when I was younger, but I'd say I'm Stefan, like when Steve Urkel was cool. Now I'm getting to the point where people are like, who the hell is Steve Urkel? I'm like, oh, damn.
It's getting up there.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
It's getting up there.
So how was the ride?
It's great.
So tell them, you can drive cross country in a Tesla.
I've done it multiple times.
Isn't it insane?
I'm gonna go all the way to tomorrow with you guys to SpringStock 3 in Houston.
Shoot. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Then next week I'll go hit up Showboats in Memphis, and then the same day,
Wow.
Battlehawks
You're
game.
gonna drive those
Same day. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, sign you up.
Okay,
All
man.
the way, man.
Well, that's what I was
All the
telling
way
Zach,
in.
dude.
All in.
Dude, those supercharged, Elon really locked it down with that supercharger network.
Killed it.
Dude, because we were stopping at Buc-ee's. By the time we're done in Buc-ee's, the car's ready to go for the next. Like it really is like using a gas station. Like
We might
No
have
problem.
Dirty from Detroit. It looks
oh
like.
yeah, let me get a link. Oh,
Hey, for those leaving, have a great
hey,
time.
sign
We
you
hope to
up.
See you there.
Thank you for your dedication.
In there.
Have me on.
Thank you, Mom, for your
Great to have you on,
dedication
buddy.
as well. Yes, sign you up. Appreciate it.
The real ones, man. 15 hours, 20 hours. That's nuts.
Do me a favor, Zach, because I can't get on Twitter right here. Oh, hold on. Let me pull up the fan cam real quick because we got.
Hey guys, this is Predator. I done caught me a ball hog.
I took a wrong. I was trying to go to Michigan and I took a left when I should have took a right, and I ended up in Arlington. I don't know what happened. A simple Viking ship.
Hey, I was going to say, I feel like you're at the wrong game here, but you know what? I'll take. Are you going to be in Houston tomorrow, hopefully?
No, I'm going to be in San Antonio tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
She will be in Houston tomorrow.
I'll be in Houston.
Yeah,
Oh, no, Predator. Oh, Mr. Predator. Hey, it was a simple interview. I promise.
You know what's funny, too? It's actually funny because I didn't know who you guys were, but it's because you guys aren't wearing the masks.
What's going on, y'all? I've never wore masks. Oh, them.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. I never wore masks. We got Los Banditos here, too.
Dude,
Hey, get in here, Mr. Marco.
Of their food they got going on, and thank you again for the Modelo.
You got it.
Fuel Network representing, dude. I mean, for real. So, actually, real quick, since we're talking about it, you guys got a little thing going on Roku, right? Does anyone
Yeah, so join us on Fuel, F-U-E-L, the Fan United Experience Legion. We are here to make sure that all sports are represented, and we're going to do it with community work and volunteer work in all the various hubs and cities. So please check us out, Fuel. Let me show you what that logo looks like so everybody knows. We're right here. We're making an impact in our communities, and hopefully we'll be able to get bigger and better with y'all's support.
Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So I'll tell you this because I got all the Fuel guys here. I don't know if we've actually talked about it publicly, but I've been waiting. I've actually been purposely waiting until we get to
If you were going to say
SpringStock.
it, I am, but you go ahead.
Fridays on Fuel Network, on the Fuel app, is Pro Football Newsroom Day. So if you want, beyond the YouTube, if you're missing out, make sure you tune in to Fuel on Fridays because we have Around the UFL. We have the UFL podcast, and we might even have some more stuff coming to you. So everybody, here's what I want you to do. Pause the stream just for a second, not too long. Fire up the Roku. Look up Fuel. Download it now, or you're banned. You're banned from the channel. You're not allowed to watch our show anymore.
Hey, and for all the ladies out there, the women are going to have a Wednesday night, 7 p.m., 18 with Amanda and Amber, okay? So we're talking sports from a women's perspective. Ladies, get in there and show your guys how this is done.
Yeah, damn right. Well, I love that idea, actually. I really love that idea.
Hey, we're trying to save marriages one at a time. Educational points. We're going to teach these young women that it's okay to love sports and be a part of this.
See, I need to connect you with my wife. Hopefully she shows up tomorrow. I need to get you. You need to.
That's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah,
right
we
there.
need to get my wife on the mic here. I'll get her a ref like something. I don't know.
All right, I'll check in with y'all a little later, see if I can find some more stuff. Let's go!
SpringStock 3, baby.
SpringStock 3.
Mrs. Predator is doing a lot of
Hell
the
yeah.
fan work. That is awesome to have that this year.
Like I said, dude, we are definitely stopping by Lot E. Had I known.
I do need to get Dirty.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Get my guy the link here. We'll get him on.
Yeah, let me try
and hopefully
I'll use the same one you shared to me, but we should have him from Michigan.
Should be. Now, where'd my phone go? There we go. I just want to check my Twitter here and make sure. Okay. All right, got it. All right, cool. So we should have Mark Perry here soon. Let's see. I mean, okay, so we didn't really talk about the late game. We talked about it a little bit. Panthers, Battlehawks. I mean, before we get into the real meat and potatoes of today, right? So we have the Battlehawks and the Panthers later on. You're out here representing the Panthers.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, adamantly.
And I mean, I have been known as the Panther, the number one Panthers fan. So, I mean, we could say we're both Panthers fans up here. But at the same time, we also have Refs Law. So we don't know what Refs Law is going to look like this year.
I despise Refs Law, by the way.
I mean, is it going to be the same? Do you think we'll see Refs Law?
Do you expect it to change?
I don't know. I'm asking you
laws
first.
Are supposed to be sturdy.
Well, I mean, every so often, some things have to go through Congress and laws get changed.
Where's the Congress at?
There's, if you want to sign them up. I don't even know where that was coming from, but I like it.
Oh my God.
I was like, where are you? Okay, I'm a fool. Anyway, you know what? Well, we'll give them a couple minutes to get set up here, but I do see in the lobby we have our friend Mark.
There we go.
But real quick, I don't know if refs law is going to change, but I'll tell you this: half of me is hoping for a Battlehawks win today,
without a doubt.
Because if last year's rules stand, it almost all but assures a Roughnecks victory. Which I mean, we already know, 12-0, but that's what I mean. Like. Sorry, guys.
We got them all coming in. Dirty's waiting on the side, too.
So we'll bring in Mark, and then Dirty give us maybe like 15. All right, so, let me get my headphones on.
Let's throw this on, because we got to hear them.
Yeah.
Let's get this going.
Oh, man, these are loud in here. Let me turn these down a little bit. And then I think this needs to be mute. And we'll mute you. There we go. We're slowly
that's more like it. That's more like it.
How's your volume in your headset?
I think I'm all right.
Okay, good.
Hope everyone says we're sounding okay. And I think it's about time we bring on and make the ultimate collab of collabs.
Worlds collide right now. Let's bring our dude in here.
What is up, my friends? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, dude. I've been so excited since you texted or pinged or whatever you want to call it the other day, because I don't think anybody's expected or ever expected that this collab would happen right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super excited. I know the last time we spoke, I think was at the 2022 USFL championship.
Yep.
And you and I think at the time we were talking, I was like, you know, what's funny? I said, everybody on the internet thinks we hate each other. And, half of me, I kind of let it to, I kind of, admittedly, I do kind of let the winds blow the way they need to blow, because I think there's a little bit to whether it's a real rivalry or not. I feel like it does help both of us in a way.
Oh, absolutely.
But at the end, like,
drives the people,
privately, I've told Zach, I've told James, I said, dude, I know if Mark Perry and I went out for a beer, we'd probably find out we're like the same person, because clearly we're like, you're one of the old school guys. Like, when we look at, I do like the idea that there's all these new networks and all these new podcasts and this and that. But when we look at like 2019, 2018, right? Yeah. Like, it was you and me.
Right.
And there was a handful of guys.
There was an XFL board too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Mark Nelson. I can't forget him, right? Like, and Mike Mitchell, and so there's like a handful of guys that are still around from then. But 2020, there was so many podcasts, so many websites, and the unfortunate thing is a lot of those, with the gap, they kind of faded away, this and that. And we're starting to see that rise again, but that was kind of my whole intro spiel. We didn't really discuss what we were going to talk about here. I was hoping it was all going to be good stuff, and it feels like it is. So but I mean, first, there's a couple things. How about you I know I've talked about my journey on this damn show probably too many times. Tell everybody about you. I don't even know your journey. Tell us how, for beginning and how we ended up here, right?
Right. So, I mean, I got my start. So I was a communications major. I graduated from Salisbury University. But I saw this thing online. I mean, cause I'm 40, I'm 49 right now. So I'll be 50 in October.
I mean, you're pulling it off. I'll say that.
And then, so I was, and I was like my last semester, and I'm like, so I grew up in Long Island. I grew up in New York, and I never wanted to go back to New York because it's full of New Yorkers.
Right.
And I like to say I'm from New York, but I would never want to live there. I don't even visit anymore. My mom lives there still. And so I was at Salisbury, and I was like my last semester, and I was like, what is this internet thing? I mean, that's like when like emails were just started coming out. It was like Novell was like the email provider. And I remember my friend emailing another friend, and he was in like Paris, and it was like this, like we had to go to the room, and there was this whole internet thing. It was a bunch of young guys, and they were all driving around Lamborghinis, and they were like 22 years old. And I'm like, yeah, I would rather do that rather than being a radio and television guy and moving, because New York is the Mecca. Yeah, and so that's where you're going to make your money. And I didn't want to live there. So I started teaching myself programming, and I started websites, and I was kind of playing around with that. And then my roommate was into wrestling. So I graduated from college, and he was like, let's start a wrestling website. So I was like, okay, what should we call it? And he's like, let's call it Impact Wrestling. So Impact Wrestling Online was available. So I picked that up. And then from there, that's kind of where I was kind of playing around with it. It got successful. I wound up selling the name Impact Wrestling to TNA Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
That is my claim to fame.
Dude,
yes.
I am a TNA fan, like die hard, by the way. So
the name came from me.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, small flipping world.
That is
dude.
wild.
Small world.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So that's my wrestling claim to fame. And they were at the time a little pushy, because they were like, well, you have our pictures and we can sue you. And but I sold it, was able to, get some money out of it, and, I had some good guests and whatever. And then I spun up allwrestling.com. Mm-hmm. And then I was doing that for a while. And then I wound up selling that to guys who actually are friends with the guys from 3 Down Nation. They know each other.
Oh, right on.
Okay. So I sold it to them, but they never used it. And then that was around the time when Vince came out about the football thing. And I was like, that'd be kind of cool. And the funny thing was, it was like, I didn't like WWE anymore. I didn't like the way Vince McMahon was running things. I loved NXT, and I thought it was great. And that's why I kind of got involved with AEW when they came out. So we have Pro Wrestling News Hub, which kind of exists now, but I'm not really paying much attention to it. And then, so that's when Vince came out in 2018, I was like, okay, let's spin up a site. And then let's just kind of sit on it. And I didn't even pay attention when Oliver Luck got hired. I kind of paid attention when they announced Bob Stoops, and I was like, this is kind of interesting. And then it just kind of snowballed. And actually, my first writer was Matt Nagashima, and actually now he is returning to
good
for this year. So that's kind of full circle. And so that's kind of how I kind of got into it. And then I remember thinking at one point when the AAF was going on, I was like, did I make the wrong decision? Is AAF going to be the thing and the XFL is not? And then it went under. And then I was just about to start watching AAF. But even when I got into the space, like you guys all like knew like the AAF players, and I didn't know like Brandon Silvers or, some of these other guys that, went on to, play in the leagues and all that stuff. And so that's when I kind of started paying attention more. And then that's when the growth started happening, and then just kind of went from there. That's kind of how I got in.
Yeah, dude, it's been a fun ride. And it's funny because you said full circle, and I was talking about that earlier in the show. It really feels like this is the year that things are coming full circle because we went from the XFL to the Spring League, and the Spring League became the USFL, and now the XFL and the USFL emerging to become the UFL, which was a name that Vince McMahon trademarked way back with the So it's like, it's crazy how everything's coming together. I will say this, please. I think I hedged my bet finally this time. I was like, all right, enough of the domain changes were like enough. I was like, all right, screw it. It's just Pro Football Newsroom now. Yeah. The handle's online. Fine. Do what you want. I'm like, I can't. Please, for the love of God, don't change your name again. Because
I mean, I've spun up, it was USFL, CFL, XFL, and now, USFL, like all of these things. And at one point I was going to just keep all the USFL news on XFL News Hub. Mm-hmm. And then had some conversations with people within the USFL, and they were like
conversations we had.
And it was like, well, you're kind of like the competition, and
well, maybe you should. Yeah, like I feel you.
And I was like, you guys are kicking off in a month. Okay, let's, and so it did it, and it made sense. And for me, I think everything really hinges on this season. I really like. you had Mike Mitchell on my podcast. Yes, Mike Mitchell works for Sports Illustrated, and now Antheon Sports. They're having their whole drama over there at Sports Illustrated. I had him on my show. I mean, and he was like, if these guys can't do it, who can?
Hey, do me a favor, just because tell Mike Mitchell I don't hate him.
Okay.
I hate him. And he blocked me online, and I probably have ways to get to him, but I know you. I don't. I really don't hate anybody in this space. And I want him to at least know that. I don't know if he actually thinks that, but if he does, just pass that along.
I will. We'll do.
Anybody who covers this damn sport, as long as all of us have, I have respect for.
Yeah.
I mean, because we all have the same interests. Clearly, we're all into the same crap, you know.
None of us are making bank, you know.
No, exactly right.
No.
People think we all do, though. I had a guy last year at the Motor City meetup was like, no, you got to be making money. You got the USFL podcast. I'm like, yeah, bro, but it ain't like it ain't like that, dude. It ain't, I wish it was, you know. But
buy a pizza and then that's about it.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong here. I think I saw you post something the other day. You're doing a blood drive. Did I see that? Speak on that a little bit.
So with all of the stuff that was, the getting ready for the season, my wife wound up getting sick. We thought she had that she had the flu. And we went to the hospital thinking that it was just going to be, pump her up with some fluids and we're out. It turns out that she wound up having sepsis. Her kidneys shut down, all this kind of stuff. We were in the ICU for a week. Then we were in regular for a week. They had to kind of bring her back. She had multiple blood transfusions. And then we finally came home. A week later, they said she had blood cancer. So it's something called, This is all while I'm trying to prepare for the UFL season and get excited for that. But it's something called multiple melanoma. It's a thing. Colin Powell passed away from it. There's a bunch of famous people that have. But over the last 10 to 5 years, the treatments have gone to the stage of where it was kind of a death sentence to now it's just kind of this treatable thing, hopefully like arthritis or something like that, where you're just taking medication for the rest of your life. And there's a potential stem cell thing, but I mean, she's doing really good. She's upstairs watching right now. Love you, babe. So one of the things during this whole process is everybody was like, well, let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm gluten-free. I have all sorts of food allergies. People wanted to send us food and people sent us gift cards and all sorts of cool stuff. But I was like, well, what can we take? How do we take this negative situation and spin it into something fun and positive? And so that's where the blood drive came out. So it's UFLnewshub.com/blood. Easy to get to.
Yep.
And there's basically 3 tiers. You donate blood once. We send you a sticker with our Defenders for Life logo that we're kind of picking out right now. And fans can be able to pick on that soon. I have to tweak it. I got in trouble because I did use AI to create it. I'm a software developer. I play around with AI all the time.
I love AI, by the way, though. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm all about
I
that.
get heat for it, and I'm like, I'm just experimenting, man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how this stuff works. So anyways, so there's some logos there. So you get a sticker. So if you donate blood once, you get a sticker. If you donate blood at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season, we'll send you a pair of socks because my wife loves comfy socks. If every DC Defenders home win and you donate, you will get a T-shirt. So the deal is you can only donate every 2 months. You have to wait 8 weeks before you can donate. I was ready to go every win, I'll go that week. I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's there's 3 tiers to it. And that's basically it. And so if you want to get involved, you just check out, it's just UFLnewshub/blood and just donate once. I mean, you can only donate 6 times a year, which I didn't even know either. So how it all works. But I mean, she had 3 blood transfusions within a week, and that basically saved her life along with the doctors and everybody's prayers. I'm a Christian guy. I don't hide from that. God is good. And she said from the beginning, God's got this. And we needed to do something to kind of take a negative and a positive. And this is something everybody can do, except if you are a DC Defenders fan and you were in the beer snake section, I have a disclaimer. Wait a couple days before you donate.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be a good idea.
There you go. There you go. Well, it's unfortunate the reason you got there, but it sounds like things are
Yeah, she's doing good. She gets treatment. She doesn't have it's not chemotherapy. She's not going to lose her hair. It's just kind of this targeted drug kind of thing. And it's relatively new in the last 5 years. And there's new research. Again, I'm hopeful that AI can kind of take all the pieces of the puzzle and put it together in the next couple of years and be like, oh, if you just do this, you're fine.
Yeah. That is the thing with AI. That we are going to see some crazy things happen in the next 5 to 10 years that I think people are thinking about, automation when it comes to losing jobs and this and call centers or fast food. No. There's going to be like medical breakthroughs and all sorts of things that our brains can't think fast enough to figure out.
And that kind of, I like the AI topic because I've gotten heat for it and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to change our business too. And here's somebody like you've been into it a long time. Like, I don't use Google search anymore. I use ChatGPT to answer questions because I can go direct to the source when I write code. So I've written a UFL news app, a news phone app. And of course I have Newshub Fantasy, which is a fantasy football site that you can play UFL and CFL, hopefully if they have an API.
Yeah.
That has helped me tremendously, saving time. I mean, I have a full-time job, software engineer by day. I don't have time to do all this stuff. And it's really rapidly changing stuff. And then it's like, well, what happens with Google? And then how is Google? Because that's how we get traffic to our sites.
Right.
Is everybody moving towards video? I mean, my kids don't watch sports. Yeah. I mean, and maybe they'll watch the Super Bowl, but it's video games, TikTok, Instagram, that kind of thing. And it's like, well, you could be a TikTok influencer, but how much money are you going to make off of it? So like the whole model is changing. And not only is it changing for us as like distributors of this content, but it's also changing for, the league.
Yeah.
Because to think of how things were in 2020, I mean, we were set. I was rocking and rolling. I was like, give guys raises. We're going to get like fancy jackets. Like we were just killing it. And then COVID happened, and then 2023 happened, and it was kind of good, but not like it was. And now this year, I mean, the hype, would you agree that the hype compared to all of the launches, including USFL, is a lot less than it was before?
It feels like it. It definitely feels like it. I will say, and again, you can't really, it's never an indicator by looking at Ticketmaster, but I mean, the Arlington game does look like the tickets are selling. Houston, I'm worried about, but I always knew there would be a problem just with how late they were selling the
change
tickets.
So late to a different venue.
The good news there is the Houston Roughnecks are going to go 12-0. So after a couple weeks, they'll be sold out. So we'll be fine over there.
Maybe.
I mean, I assume Mark does not think that given the DC is going to be very formidable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my Alf too.
Yeah. So I got real quick because I got Dirty waiting.
Oh, hello, Dirty. I've been on his podcast. Let me know if you want me to be on there anytime.
Let's do a trio.
Yeah, let's just bring him in here real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get over here.
There he is.
Look at this.
Oh, wait. No. Mark, I like you. I like you. Zach, I like you. Ref, you said you don't have a rival. It's right here, guy. This is your rival. Right here, dude.
Well, I'm on. What do you mean? I got Pro Football Newsroom on the Fuel Network. I mean,
I'm giving you shit. Be quiet, you big baby. Yeah, come on.
Hey,
look, I got Daddy Ed here. But I gotta say this. You're talking these right here. What you're seeing right now is the OG of spring football.
It is.
With Newsroom, Newsroom, and then the original X-Fan show that turned into Fuel. We are bringing the communities together. These three shows and these three networks are bringing the communities together. I mean, Stefan, Zach, you guys just got rated by a bunch of the Fuel people, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Of course,
Mark doing a good job up there with the News Hub. Mark, I need to talk to you offline because I have an idea for your wrestling thing because I'm a huge wrestling geek.
Oh, cool.
Look, there's the flag. There's the Fuel flag.
It was like the collab of the millennium. It was a collab of the century. Century with us two. Now the three, it's the millennium.
And the thing is, like, so I went through, like, I had this kind of like breakup, feeling sorry for myself kind of thing. So Mike Mitchell and Anthony Miller went to Sports Illustrated,
Yeah, big
And
deal.
I was like, that's awesome, but then that sucks for me.
Right.
And I'm like, "Ugh, I just lost like some of my top guys. And my wife was like, having Sports Illustrated cover the league is actually a good thing. And I was like, you're right. And she was like, the more people that talk about it, all of these guys on the screen right now and more, that's why we have to help each other out. Because the rising tide lifts the ships, or whatever that saying is. And I was like, she's totally right.
Yeah, and that's why. Oh, go on.
No, go on, Stefan. It's your show.
No, well, I was just gonna say I've been saying for years, like on the podcast, I've always said, like, if you have interest in this,
You guys got a TV on back there or something? Who's got the TV on?
We do.
We do. We're watching the NCAA tournament. We're in the hotel room, getting ready to go to Detroit because apparently you can't tailgate in Detroit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Well, apparently you can't tailgate here, but look at us.
Well, no, they tailgate. They tailgate down there.
So this is what. So again, if for anyone that hasn't joined in later, for you guys, we got into the L lot, which apparently is the staff lot, and we got in early to where they're like, "Oh yeah, it's okay," but they were denying our own folks from coming in because it became the staff lot a little later in the day. So we're just chilling here, and we haven't been moved. We're
I have to say something. That was my fault, Zach, for not calling you. When you're running a TV network, trying to put all of these shows on a network, Stefan, you're right. It is very, very hard, and it is very, very time consuming. But I love it because it brings all of these groups together and all of these other shows together where people can't see them. Mm-hmm. And they're not looking all over God's green earth, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. They're all on one thing. And, like with Mark doing, the news hub and then the wrestling hub, all of that. Stefan, with you doing all of your stuff, it's about consolidating into a few small places where everybody can get their content. And I think that the three of us, we are the three groups here that you're seeing. We are the innovators of all of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, would you disagree with me, Arlington?
I can't say anything.
I mean, we are the OGs of it, right?
I'll tell you this, Dirty. I can't believe you got it done. I know. I'm not that I discredit you ever, but when because we've been talking about this for like a year, and you brought it up to me. I was like, bro, I mean, I'm in, but I ain't doing the work.
It's a lot.
I just know because I remember Jim Bernier.
That's the same thing he's talking about. I was once on a radio network we tried to start with podcasters, and doing all that, automating it, getting the shows in to cut down, it is a living hell. I am glad.
It is a living hell. Oh, but yeah, it's easy though.
Living hell. I am sorry to say, I am glad I'm not doing that anymore. I would do this.
So there's going to be more people coming online, once. And this is the thing with this season more than anything else. Like there was a buildup. People are going to go on television. I mean, people know me in my circle of friends, and they know about this stuff. No one else does. I had one time I was wearing my USFL hat. I went to the bank, and one of the guys was like, "Is that league coming back?" That was the only time anybody's ever asked me anything. Once it hits Fox today, and then ESPN. That's going to be the kicker. Now, so here's the question for you guys, and Mike Mitchell put this out on his thing. What do you think the ratings are going to be as far as people watching this first game with the NCAA going on right now? He was saying in the 800,000. Do you think it's going to clear 1 million?
I'll let him answer because we were just talking about that earlier too.
Dealing with what's going on, the landscape of what women's basketball and the NCAA tournament, it'll be a scarce thing if it makes 1 million. If it makes 1 million, it'll be a big shock to everyone. So you got to understand, because right now Caitlin Clark is hot. So everything has been about her, and they're going to watch her today. And then also the game beforehand, because it's only be at the same time as the kickoff game. So everything that's coming on, man, is going to be geared toward that. I'm just hoping that it can reach at least 1 million. That's my biggest hope.
I'm happy about. I know, because it's also the narrative that comes out of it, not from us per se, but there's always like that group of people that's just ready to pounce on what they perceive as bad news, right?
Yes,
and they'll pounce on it. They couldn't even get 1 million in their first game.
If they can't get, I mean, I know you're absolutely right, because what's going to happen is we do comparison shopping a lot of times with these ratings, and we're going to look at last year's XFL Week 1 ratings right off the bat on ABC.
That was 1.2 million?
Yes,
and something like that. Yeah.
If it's lower than that, you are going to see Pro Football Talk or all these other conglomerates go drop a said percentage in opener.
Well, and so then that's where us as a group and as a community, we gotta change that narrative and say, listen, this isn't the XFL, this isn't the UFL or the USFL, this is the UFL. It's a totally different league. That's where we have to change the narrative because all of these other guys aren't. The big media guys, they're not going to change that narrative. So us as the community, we're the ones that have to change that narrative. And can you imagine in 2024, 4 years into this, Dirty would be speaking unity between all of these
what happened
groups?
to you? So earlier in the show, somebody, because we almost flipped the table for anybody that missed it.
Yes.
Somebody said you need to light it on fire and jump through it, and I even said, like, look, I'm not stealing Dirty's bit. That's him all day and night. I'm not doing it.
I owe both you and Arlington an apology because I must have misunderstood our call about setting up to have you on the show. Because I didn't mean to say that you weren't here. I just didn't know if it was like in person or not when we talked. Just wanted to clarify that before the show's over, so that when people tune, it's
that's like, okay, Zach. I don't forgive you, but it's okay. I still love you. I still have to be the asshole sometimes, guys. Come on.
Wait, how you gonna sit here promote unity and you just?
Oh yeah, you're right, Zach. I love you, Zach. I love you. I forgive you, Zach. I love you. My bad. My bad. We got to check out of our hotel. We got to get ready to go to the stadium because we're going to Ford Field. We're gonna meet up with James Larson's. Mark, you got anybody up here?
Not that I know of.
Well, then we'll give you some information. We'll give you some info that you can use.
Okay.
All right.
So there you go. Boys, I love all of you. I'm glad to see that these three worlds have finally merged into one world of unity and love.
Hey, because they've set the bar, like everything is in place, and really it's up to the fans to get this over the hump, and that's right with us. Really,
what a day here!
Does.
What a day! What a collab!
Well,
I like the logo too. That's hot.
Get that flag going. I need a flag like that.
And reminder again, we're gonna PFN. We're on Fuel. Gonna be a great time adding our content Fridays for a show.
Download that app on Roku, guys.
Mark, I gotta talk to you about that wrestling thing.
Sure, man. You just message me.
Later, guys.
Enjoy the game.
Good having you on, brother.
Don't get into trouble. Don't only go through one table. Only one.
I'm not doing any flavy tables today. None.
You better do one in St. Louis.
And just know a minimum of 72 people know that Mark's going to talk to Dirty about wrestling of some kind at some point.
Which is again is talking about earlier. Like when I was telling James, I was like, again, I feel like if I hung out with Mark Perry, him and I would probably find out we're the same people. Because again, I'm a diehard wrestling fan. I'm going all in London this year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Amped for that, dude. I am like,
I'm jealous.
Ready
as hell,
to
by
go.
the way. They just got
awesome.
And see, I package it up because my wife is like, "Oh, we're going on a trip to Europe." I'm like, "Yeah, we are," and we're going to wrestling. She's into wrestling.
Mark, let's talk. Or no, you go ahead. Go finish up.
I was just gonna say we usually go to Mania every year, but I missed out on tickets. Like I usually get them right when they sell, and I didn't this year. And I don't know if you saw the prices. I'm like,
no. Well,
I'll pass. I'll have a better seat at home.
I mean, and The Rock has been promoting more of his WrestleMania appearance than the UFL. But
damn shame. At least he could put on.
Where's,
I said this.
Where's the non-sleeve UFL shirt at these?
Wear a UFL.
Yeah,
shirt
why couldn't you wear that,
dude?
That's true.
Like I get it if Vince was still in the mix. Okay, maybe not.
Doesn't
Vince ain't even there, bro. He's in the board of directors. He can do whatever he wants.
Does it match the bloodline aesthetic? Okay, whatever.
Screw that. Bring the bloodline into the UFL. I don't care. Eyes on this product.
Need more.
Yeah, Big E last year. Get Roman Reigns in here. Screw it.
Wrestling connections are here. Now I got to ask you, Mark, before we go and move on, because man, I didn't realize time flies by. Let's talk football, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk the games ahead. Obviously DC is going to be playing tomorrow yourself, so that's going to be a big one. Let's talk today. We can get prediction for people. What are your thoughts on the kickoff game, champ versus champ? What are you looking for? Who do you think's taking it?
I think Birmingham. I mean, yes, my DC Defenders lost to Arlington. Do I think Arlington is going to be a team to beat this year? I think they'll be middle of the road. Again, I love Luis Perez, but he's not AJ McCarron. He's not Jordan. He did win the championship. I'm not taking that away. But I think the Birmingham Stallions are one of the teams to beat, and I think they're going to it'll be really interesting. I mean, if Arlington upsets them, that's going to be a really big thing where people are going to talk about, who's better, the UFL teams or the XFL teams. I think at the end of the day, I put my fandom aside. I think the best thing for the league is to have the St. Louis Battlehawks take on the Birmingham Stallions in the championship and I'm sorry, Dirty and X-fans and all you Battlehawk people, I'm talking from a business perspective. You're already going to sold out as long as the Battlehawks are in the game. I think Birmingham winning it and three-peating, that gives you a whole dynasty talk. And they're the evil empire. They're the New York Yankees of the UFL, and you can spin it all sorts of ways. I think that's what's best for the league. But I think St. Louis needs to be in the playoff. Needs to be in that championship game. And they are, there's some people saying that, I think the betting for the St. Battlehawks games is 6 or 6.5 or something. I think they're going to crush Michigan.
Yeah, I honestly, I think so too, Zach. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I hate to break it to you. I said this on the show the other day. I have a list of coaches I'm very confident in. Mm-hmm. Mike Nolan isn't one of them. I like the guy. Maybe if he put the 3-piece suit on, it'd be a different story.
He should do the 3-piece suit. That would be awesome.
Get the swag in the building.
Yeah. So
bad.
But hey, we're here, and let's, it's really, at the end of the day, it's up to guys like us producing content for people to connect with. It's community, and we need to make sure everybody realizes that, the UFL fans are different than the NFL fans. NFL fans, I didn't really like going to NFL games, but there's one story I tell is we were at a DC Defenders game, and 2 drunk dudes standing right where my seats are, yelling at the players. Basically doing that whole own them or whatever. And I just tapped the guy on the shoulder, and I looked at him and I was like, bro, this isn't the NFL. This is this is the XFL. We don't do that here. Yeah. And he just kind of looked at me, and they both looked at me, and they walked away. And then the people around me knew who I was and whatever. And we were just kind of talking about it, but it was we can set the tone. This is they put this thing together, and we can mold it into what we want. We have the beer snake. We've got the lemons. You know what I mean? We've got SpringStock. We've got the traditions from the UFL and all of the the creators, and now Sports Illustrators involved. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's up to us and the fans. So get your friends to come to these games. I talked to people inside the UFL, and I was like, well, what is the barometer for you guys? And really, I think they kind of gave me some political answers, but it's ticket sales drives sponsorships, and then which drives eyeballs to the product, and then the look on television kind of correlates to that. So I think the biggest thing they have is the is really the ticket sales is where things go. And before I go, I wanted to give you guys a little insider stuff that maybe you've not heard anywhere, just for some fun. Because I was like, I teased it on my show that I was going to give you guys something. And you know this from doing shows. Anytime you mention the word expansion, it becomes a thing. I have heard that this thing about with the government and saying, hey, you basically in year 2 you need to bring 10 teams back, and then in year 3 12. I've heard that is actually a thing. Yeah. And one of the names out there, I have some predictions about. I've heard some names out there being floated about. Seattle is definitely, I would say, very heavily in the mix. Orlando, now that they're reopening their stuff. There's been chatter of maybe Philadelphia returning as a possibility. But one that I've heard is your New Orleans Breakers have a shot at returning next season.
Makes sense, because I know they were in discussions with Ullman going into the season. Things, I don't know if it was like a construction thing or something.
I know they're doing reno. That's the thing that's holding a little bit of the time frame. But that was a realistic talk that was going on. So there's options like you're talking, Mark. And
I've heard Canton is not. I love Canton.
Too bad.
Me too. Yeah.
It's just not a market, that potentially could struggle. Even though I think,
I think if they had a branded team in Canton, I think they might show up. But I see where the risk might not be the reward there. Another team I heard, since we're talking about teams that might come back, another one I heard was the Maulers might be on that list as well, because they were in negotiations with some places in Pittsburgh kind of going into the season as well. But I think those weren't anywhere close to what they were over in like New Orleans and some of those other places.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I think we can all confidently say is whether they bring back one team, two teams, any teams next year, there's enough talent, right?
Oh,
when we look at the cuts that came this year, there's like all UFL, all XFL players that didn't make the cut. Like you could make like a good 2-3 teams. You could make 8 teams literally out of the players that didn't make the cut, you know? So I think they'll be in a good position next year. And then the good news is there's new players every year, right?
Yeah.
There's new guys coming out of college. There's new guys coming out of the NFL. I mean, there's an opportunity there. But realistically, and this is what we talked about around the UFL, we just need to make it through this season.
Yep.
And to make it through this season, we need everybody. If you can't make it to a game, watch the game.
Yes.
Yep. Get it. And you know, buy a hat, buy a shirt, tell your friend.
Yeah. And this will be the first full off season ever.
Yeah.
Because it's always been this kind of like, you know, everything is in place. All the staff is there. Like, so it's going to be really today, within a couple hours, it's going to be really interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I know. We're only an hour and a half, less than an hour.
I would say
away.
we under hour and a half until we kick this bad boy off and get it going. And I like the hype's there. I think that I like what I'm seeing in terms of the football community at large taking notice of this. Just got to keep building, man. Just got to keep stacking the wins, as my coworker says in my job. You know, even with my stuff, stack the W's.
Yep.
Keep on moving forward and keep being around. That's a big deal. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got James Larson sitting in the wing. I'm just going to bring him on real quick.
Let's
I feel bad I had him sitting.
Hey, there he is.
I like James is such a good boy that he's wearing his seatbelt while parked.
You got to unmute you.
Bring up the mic.
Let me get you.
My mic. My bad. Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good.
Great to see you, man.
I'm sitting in some random parking lot outside of Detroit. I figured, you know, Jay Sternberger was driving without his seatbelt. I think the last time we had him on. So I figured I'd park and keep my seatbelt on to kind of make up for that one. So
nice.
Yeah.
Responsibility right here. Good example.
There you go.
I'm not surprised. So, James, how's it been so far? I mean, I saw for example, the Panthers, pretty cool event. Dick's Sporting Goods, I understand. They were doing some things yesterday.
Yeah, they had two events yesterday. They had a meet and greet with Breland Speaks and Kai Nakua and I think someone else at Dick's Sporting Goods. And then they also did like a community event over at Detroit Boxing's youth group event or something like that. It's an organization. They bring in professional athletes and stuff to go just play with the kids, talk with them, give them some encouragement, things like that. So that was really good yesterday. And yeah, it's just great to see the UFL. I know it's Arlington hub. Everyone's kind of like, oh, they're not going to connect with the communities. It's great to see the league making sure they do stuff like this, even though they're not in their cities.
100%. 100%. So I'm curious. We talked about predictions with Mark and everybody else that came today. Who do you think's pulling out this opening game between the Stallions and the Renegades? I know you're
Vegas
Switzerland and all, but
Vegas Vipers.
Vegas Vipers coming back.
No, yeah, I said in my article a day or two ago, I think Birmingham's a bit of a favorite. You look at their roster; they have 16 former NFL draft picks on their team, and like that doesn't include the guys that have also been in the NFL as undrafted free agents, right? To have 16, that's close to 35-40% of your roster is NFL draft picks. Now, the thing that I find interesting is, will they have chemistry right off the bat? There's so many new faces in that offense. And Matt Corral making his first professional start. If Arlington's defense is good, they got a lot of talent there. If they can provide pressure quick, kind of throw Matt off his balance, that's going to be key. But I still feel like the Stallions are just stacked. Like, look at every single position group. It's like, and Arlington worries me a bit just because they stuck with a couple of the same faces from last year that weren't fantastic. I look at their running back room, and Davion Smith is running back one once again. It's not saying he's a bad running back, but he averaged like 3 yards a carry last year in the XFL, and now the defense has gotten even better. So if Davion Smith can't provide Luis Perez with production, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
So true. So true. And I'll be honest with you, that up until Luis came in, that was something that I was surprised that they struggled with even last year. Couldn't get the yards per carry numbers up, for how big and bulky Smith was, and still definitely feels like he'll be that bell cow guy there. You got to hope that they looked at last year and went, we really got to start looking to try and see if we can up that per carry yardage because we can't be slacking and very low ball at the beginning like we were the season before. It's windy out here, by the way. I wonder if kickers are going to have a hell of a time.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right, yeah. I mean, hopefully it doesn't come down to a kick because it's going to be.
I think we're good.
Luckily,
Hey, too bad it's not the Brahmas game. You know, you get destroying out there for a game-winning kick with a bunch of wind. That would have been an interesting one.
It's blowing.
I'm curious about him. I mean, if he sucks, that couldn't that potentially impact his career? But if he's really good, which I heard Pat McAfee's clip talking about how the ball explodes off of his foot. I mean, if he's a player in the league, that would be a huge win for this league.
Yeah,
to have him as kind of one of the stars.
I mean,
tomorrow's the day. We're finally going to find out. We can put all the speculation to the side and actually see it in action. What's going to really suck is if San Antonio doesn't kick any field goals tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
I mean, here's the thing. There's so much talk about him. I mean, good and bad. I know there's half of the people are like, oh, geez, I wish they left a spot for quote, quote, real player. But, here's the thing. If he shows up and he plays well, I think we've all seen he's a net positive for the league just from his following alone. When the league puts out a destroying tweet, it's getting way more engagement than any of the other. So I see, I'm like, okay, you know what? I get it. I'm a businessman. Let's see it. Let's play this out.
At minimum, I'd rather him being on the field playing and inspiring people than being a sideline reporter and doing a bad job at it. So that's I will say.
I kind of get you.
Where's the lie? There was no lie. He was terrible last year on the sideline. He is good as a player. I want him on the side. I want him as
Did we switch roles here, Zach? What's going on?
I have no problem saying that. I'm going to just put it out there.
All right, guys. I'll let you guys get back to the show. I appreciate you being on. Hey, James, you're a legend there. We got Mike Mitchell,
Appreciate
James Larson. I mean, those are the Mount Rushmore of people out there of the cover in the league. I can't think of any other two than you two guys.
Mark Perry, you're up there, man. You've been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Crew, man. It's the old school crew. Dude, I'm so glad you joined. I'm so glad you reached out. And like I said, I was talking to James, I think it was the day of.
Yeah.
Hey, you think Mark Perry's going to be out there? Because I was going to reach out to you. And when you put out that tweet, I was like, okay, it has to happen now.
Awesome.
I'm thinking it, you're thinking it. Let's do it, right?
Well, definitely. I mean, I'm praying everything goes well and that we can be in St. Louis. So then we'll definitely hang out in person. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll have you at Summer Stock 3 in person, dude. It'll be fun. And again, just a reminder, everybody, check out UFL News Hub and UFL News Hub /blood or UFLNewsHub.com/blood.
Yep.
Go get those donations in. I mean, it's for a good cause.
Free swag.
Free swag, man. Get signed up. But
Cool.
hey, dude, it has been a pleasure. It's good talking to you again. And
all right,
we'll get a beer next time.
All right,
Nice
take care,
seeing you,
guys.
Mark.
God bless.
Hey, keeping your wife in prayer and all that going on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
Take care, brother. Good to see you.
How good to see you, man.
Mr. James Larson. So we got.
Someone said I'm in a McDonald's drive-thru. I'm not. Sitting at some random gas station. Listen, guys, I do not go to McDonald's. Okay, I don't stoop that low.
James.
I'm just at a gas station. It's raining. It's pretty gloomy out, but it's gonna be freaking epic inside of Ford Field. I'll tell you that.
What I'm hearing is ideal dome weather. Is what I'm.
It's perfect. And honestly, so I'm happy it's raining because I was thinking, if it was a really nice weekend, people might be out and about. It's raining. You have zero excuses not to show up to Ford Field today. Get your tickets. Get in there. St. Louis. There's been a lot of chatter online in between the Battlehawks and Panthers fans the last couple weeks and the social media accounts. We see you out there. People, it's going to be a fun game. EJ Perry versus AJ McCarron, man. It's going to be fun.
Dude, it's going to be a good one. I'll say this, James. I don't know. One, I appreciate it, but I don't know how you do it with all of the articles that you've been putting out. And so this is just a quick reminder. Don't let James's work go unnoticed. Go to pfnewsroom.com daily because there's stuff coming out multiple times a day. I'm surprised your fingers are still intact.
For real.
And I mean, beyond the writing, you're going to be out there doing photography today at the game. I'm assuming you'll be at the post-game press conference. You'll probably be at some of the post-game press conferences tomorrow virtually. I mean, sign you up, man. Sign you up. And we're at the beginning of the season. But here's a quick reminder. If anybody's listening, you want to join the crew, go over to pfnewsroom.com. Check in the top right. There's a Join Us button. Fill out the form. We're always looking for. You could be the next James Larson. That could be you. You could be sitting in a parking lot.
No, you don't want that. You don't want to be 5'4", guys. No.
Oh my goodness! But look, we do say this, like we evaluate and bring in some great guys, and our team has grown so much in just 2 years. It's incredible. Like James, you'll say this: the fact that we got all the teams' articles out this year and covered out of the gate for getting
full
into this
roster breakdowns, baby. Let's
that
go.
is freaking sweet. We can't. That seems like it's easy for some people, but I'm telling you, man. This for an independent group like us that we're doing this for a passion project. That's a big. I'm not going to cuss, but I really want to. Fuck it. That is a big deal. That is a big goddamn deal.
We got Zach to say the F word. Fuck yeah. All right, James, you're next.
This is why I'm not down there with you guys.
Well, see, somebody. It was at 9:30 in the morning. I didn't even
I'll
realize.
give you a hell yeah. I'll give you a hell yeah. There we go.
Yeah. That's what I like to see. So I think we were talking about ratings going into this, and I don't want to make it such a big deal on it, but we do have March Madness this year. Do you think we'll top 1 million for this opening kickoff game?
I really hope so. And, I saw Mike Mitchell, who obviously does a ton of great work. He was predicting around 850-ish, give or take, for this opening weekend on Fox. I really hope it's more than that. I wouldn't say 850 is bad, and 850 would be kind of par for the course with what we saw Fox get with the USFL last year. But it feels like with the amount of marketing we've seen these last couple months of just commercial after commercial after commercial on Fox, on ESPN, all these big outlets are covering it. We have so much coverage from like everyone across the board. We have to hit 1 million at one of these games. And it is unfortunate that we don't have like a primetime slot today. I feel like it would have been ideal to maybe have a game at like 7:30, 8-ish. But we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. I'm just hoping that we see some solid numbers because like you guys were talking about with Mark Perry, we got to get through year one, right? Obviously, expansion's on the table, but there will be no expansion if the league doesn't exist anymore. Straight up, right? I mean, we need to have good numbers this year, and I'm confident that we will. Fox, ESPN, two of the best networks in the business. They're partners again. We got to see some good numbers.
Yeah. And I'm hoping we crack 1 million on one of these games this weekend. I haven't looked at the March Madness schedule to see like what matchups they're against.
The leadoff one to me has the best chance. It has to. The amount of marketing they put in just for these two teams, if it's any of them, it's going to be this one. To me, it has to be this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good news because even if the Roughnecks this week don't crack 1 million, at least by week 3 when they're going in and everybody realizes that they're going to go 12-0. Hey, by the way, if you want a shirt, sign you up. We got free shirts over here. Yeah, sign you up.
We got people coming on by still, James. Yeah, it's been a busy day.
Yeah, people are sign you up.
Hell yeah.
People are starting to head to the game. They got the sign you up. So we have people are really starting to head to the stadium. I'll tell you this, James, because I don't think you were on for the early part of the episode. Typical SpringStock fashion, it was like a complete cluster in the morning. So I got up.
I call it the first like half hour before I got in my car. So I got the full rundown, and then I saw Luke almost knock over your entire set, which would have been fantastic.
I can't wait to get a clip of that. That is my like.
What I really want to know is Luke said that he walked by Sal Cannella, who is just an absolute legend. He's with the Renegades this year. He's with the Breakers in 2022. I need to know. Did they compare hair with each other? Because, I mean, you talk about hair in the spring football scene. Luke and Sal have some of the best hair in the business as a reporter and as a player. And we got to get them together at some point.
That sounds like an ATU thing that has to be happening coming in the future.
We're going to have to make sure Luke's on this week. We're going to have to press him for that. He was walking with a banana peel, so, I mean, he could have just thrown it on the ground and let him slip on it. So that would have been the...
I wouldn't put it past Luke. I mean, he's doing whatever it takes to get a Birmingham win. So,
so don't be surprised we turn on the game. Be like, Sal Cannella is inactive this game. Injury shortly before. Something with a banana peel. Be like, oh, man, Luke did it. Oh, my God. So, anyway, dude, it's a fun
Stallions, baby.
Yeah, we got just a little over an hour until kickoff. 8 minutes until we got to shut this bad boy down and get into the stadium. And I don't even know where we got to go get our press credentials, but we got to figure that out too. James,
you might want to do that.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on the opening weekend before we head off into the sunset?
Yeah, I would just say expect some really good football. I think, we had an extra week of training camp, so we've seen a couple of times, in the USFL, the XFL, and these other leagues, week one can be a little messy. And I think that we will see a little bit of messiness today, just because a lot of these teams where you have rosters that literally switched half their players, half the teams are brand new, essentially. There's going to be a little bit of sloppy play, but with training camp, having that extra week and with the amount of talent, with the amount of proven guys we have in this league, it's going to be really good football. Make sure you're tuned in. Make sure you're supporting your teams. Do you want spring? Whoa, I was getting so hyped up, I almost knocked over my phone. Do you want spring football to stay? Yes, you do. So tune in, get your tickets, make sure you're supporting your teams and doing what you can to make sure the UFL lasts for good. That's all
right.
I got to say.
Well, good. And I support that 100%. And I'll say that I have a very new look on the future of humanity because we had a young, I think he looked roughly around 15, 16.
Yeah, I'd say, early high
his
school.
mom drove
Was it Max
16
Holbrook?
hours. No. No,
it was not.
But him and his mom drove 16 hours out to this game. And I mean, you got to commend that. You got to love it. And that's why I was like, dude, you got to come on.
Shout out Max Holbrook.
Yeah, shout out.
Rest in peace, Guardian Center.
Sign him up. But okay, so we're just, I think it's probably a good time to wrap this up. So a couple things just to kind of reiterate and remind everybody. We do have a couple giveaways.
Yep.
Remind me. Oh, yeah. First, so we have a couple things. So one, drop in the chat. And if it's not in the chat, you can put it in the comments too. Who threw the first touchdown in the XFL 2020, right?
Yes.
2020. Yep.
The first 2020
Can I spoil
XFL.
No, because it's a giveaway.
I know you know it, and
Dang.
we've put, and someone poked at you in a video recently. So
the next one. So we're doing 3 online giveaways here. The next one is predict the score for the opening game, and whoever's the closest to the opening game score. Well, there's two giveaways.
Okay.
So, another one. So there's just the opening game. That's for just a shirt. Then if you can, whoever predicts all 4 games, whoever comes the closest to that, get the SpringStock shirt, a vintage varsity button-up, similar to this Michigan Panthers one, but with retro helmets on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to do a signed mic flag. So used at SpringStock 3, mic flag signed by the podcast boys right here. And we're going to mail that out to you. And I think I got some other merch. I got some Stanley the Stallion stickers. I think
the Memphis tumbler.
Oh, the Memphis tumbler. I got some stuff. So you're going to get like a little grab bag.
Oh yeah.
So make sure you put those predictions here either in the chat or in the comments below. And then on Around the UFL this Monday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to announce the winners because I don't have it in me to look through the chat right now. So do those things. Another thing you all need to do, because we set up a free show. This is the 3rd year in a row, SpringStock 3. It's right there. We're not lying. Free show. Here's what I ask for you. It's free as well. Subscribe. Click the bell. It builds morale. It also lets you know when we're going live, just like SpringStock 3, just like it will for Summer Stock 3, and God willing, SpringStock 4. But here's the big one. Like the video. It's free. It costs nothing, but it goes a long, long way. Zach, any final thoughts? Or actually predictions.
Besides the prediction, of course.
Yeah, predictions.
You kind of already spoiled yours.
Well, I didn't give a score.
Okay, well, you got your part. I will add in for mine for the base prediction. I go Birmingham. I'm with James, the veteran talent on this roster and who they put together. It's going to be I'm not saying Arlington's not going to compete, but the on paper weights of the two sides, I have to favor Birmingham here, and I got to go with the Stallions on that front. Now the score, that's what I find interesting, and I'll wrap into you for the score. But for me, I think it's going to be a 1-possession game in terms of the conversions. I think it's going to be a 9-point game. Give me 31 to 20. Or sorry, not
I
20,
thought you were
31 to 23.
20. Whoa.
22.
See, I thought you were getting. So I was going to
31-22. That is my score. I was bad on math for a second.
I'm going to do 32-28.
Oh, so you think it's close?
I think it's going to be a close
Okay.
game. I think Luis Perez is going to be the difference between the beginning of the season for the Renegades than they had this year. And quite honestly, and as strange as it sounds, I think the cut down in the coaching staff is going to benefit the Renegades. Now, I could easily see this, though, and just to play devil's advocate against my own argument, I could absolutely see this being like a 32-12 game or something like that, and just the Renegades getting blown out. It really all depends on how hyped the Stallions are. Like, if they're riding that high from a back-to-back win, I mean, they could easily just come here and continue,
What Luis Perez and company are we getting? Are we getting beginning of the season in Vegas, Luis Perez? Or are we going to keep seeing the riding high and very much on a hot streak Luis Perez that we got with Bob Stoops? Now, I think that's possible. Very likely we will still see a good Luis. But given the fact that you got a little more tape under your belt, it wasn't a quick run to the championship, and you can kind of evaluate last year's setup. That's what I'm looking for. And as
Luis did get a full training camp this time around. So I'd assume that definitely helps a lot. And I remember seeing a quote from Stoops. He said that Perez had completed, give or take, around 75% of his passes in camp. So he's looking sharp. He's looking sharp.
Well, good. That's what I want, because I don't want to see a dumpy game today. And that's the one thing that I don't think we will, like, comparative, at least with the first year spring leagues. There's usually like 3 weeks where these teams start coming together, and unless you're the Roughnecks where you just dominate the early season like you always do,
and then
generally
fall off the tracks.
We're not going to get there, but I don't think we're going to see that as much this year. I do. Michigan, I'm worried about. I'm worried about having a little bit of issues, but I think they can come together. I don't like their chance against the Battlehawks today, but hey, this is spring football, so anything can happen. But I do think we're going to see a lot of these teams come out hot this week, especially the Roughnecks.
I got Michigan winning, by the way.
Oh, do you? What score are you thinking there?
I'm confident. I think it'll be close.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be coming down to a field goal.
Wow.
I'm not even lying.
Jake Bates.
Part of this is me hyped because I am a fan, but I see the roster potential. I'm going with the potential win here. I'm going with the win. It's gonna be a close one, but I got to win today.
Well, I'm pulling for the Battlehawks.
Well, fellas, on that note, I think it's time for me to head to Detroit.
All right, brother. Enjoy. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Absolutely.
See ya. So, Zach, final thoughts before we head out here. This has been probably as crazy it was before. It actually was the easiest.
I loved this one.
Yeah.
And look, we've had people come by and it's been great. This one to me is up there with SummerStock last year because the fact that, dude, we had so many people come out like all of a sudden and just make this a little bit of a get together and talk party. Like so many people from across the country, different fan base. Again, I wasn't expecting Brahmas and Roughnecks. I mean, it's Texas. I get it. But like, you think they got games tomorrow to go to, and they got people coming out here. Like there's diehards that will, if it's football nearby, and it's a state of Texas too. But just
a great state.
The amount
Texas.
of folks that we got to talk to that, they're community guys. We've had collabs with people that are across different phases of this community groups with Newshub, our own guys with Fuel. It's up there. This is one of my favorite spring stocks I've had so far.
And worlds collided. Not only did we have Newsroom and Newshub, but we also had all of us at the same time. Then we had James. I mean, it really worked out. Hey, and by the way, real quick, if you want a shirt, we got some shirts over here. If you want a free swag, sign you up. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, for real? Who's your son? Hey, Jamon Manigo, 19. Okay. Sign him up. I'm glad you came now because earlier it was all Stallions fans. So now you don't have to worry.
Yes, my son is number 19, Jamon Manigo. This is his first year. He played 2 years over in Mexico.
Okay.
Wow.
They won the championship 2 years. So I'm excited to be here, and I wanted to come over and get a picture of you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
let's wait. You want
to come on?
You
in?
can get a selfie if you want.
All right,
come on in here.
Get on.
One more. Say hi. Smile on camera.
Hi guys.
See, this is the community event of all community events. I mean, you're I think the third person that we're just like, come on, let's get on camera.
Let's cheer for the Renegades, man.
Yeah.
Go 19.
There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna take a picture with you. Oh, sign you up. This is a great way to end the show, by the way. I'll tell you.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, I love it. Hey, nice meeting you. Hey, good luck tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Hey,
thank you.
Have a good one.
This is what it's all about. Like the 3 years we've come out here, we have met not only fans, we've met families of the players. We've gotten to know some of these players because it's just football is more than just on the field. It's all-encompassing community. It is an amazing
Nice
community.
meeting you.
And that's what part of the SpringStock message was all about when we first created this darn thing 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And we're still continuing that journey just like that. And it's interactions like this that we get to have every single time we come out to these games.
Yep.
So
And
good.
I'm so amped for today. We're at time. We're actually a little bit over. So I'm going to wrap things up. Again, just to reiterate, you can rewind if you didn't hear them. We have 3 giveaways. Go listen to the rules. Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the chat. Wherever it is, we'll announce the winners this coming Monday on Around the UFL at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Which you should be checking out every week. We're live. We got a whole panel over there.
And now we'll be doing recaps of the week's games starting this Monday, too.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then here's the other thing I need you to do. Subscribe, click the bell. It builds morale. Let you know when we're going live, just like Spring Stock 3, just like Summer Stock 3 will be over in St. Louis. So join us there. And then, God willing, like I said, Spring Stock 4.
For real.
Make sure you're following us over on social media at UFL Newsroom, PF Newsroom. The Ref Says, Zach Kyleman, James Larson at UFL News Hub, and all X-Fan Show and all the guys. Make sure you're following us. Support the spring football community as much as you're supporting the spring football. We all need this. But I think that's it, guys. Again, I thank you all for joining us again for the 3rd straight year. And here we go. Less than an hour to kickoff, boys. I hope you're ready to have fun because I am. Until next time, guys, sign you